Hello and welcome. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy, and this is a dry snuff review. This is the number 4 review of group number 4. Do remember that all groups of dry snuff are in one playlist, and it is named dry snuff. It may have in a parentheses after it nasal snuff, for that is what this is. So today we will be taking a look at Thor's hammer in the 25-gram airlock lid can. For reference purposes, this is a good amount of dry snuff. So there's the can, and there's a dip can. Alright. It is actually slightly larger and even deeper than a can of dip. So it's sort of like it's a vacuum seal tin. When I say that, what I mean is that it is not a screw off tin. It is suctioned down. This one is giving no play, so the seal is good. If you remember one of my first reviews, it might have been actually the first dry snuff review I attempted on this channel, was of Viking Blonde, and it did not turn out overly well. However, that seal, it wasn't quite clear as to whether it was still engaged. This one is. You'd be able to pop up and down the lid if it wasn't. So it's vacuum sealed. There's a gasket on the inside of the can. In my experience, Viking products don't fill the can to the top. Thus, the can's a little bit larger than it needs to be for 25 grams. It's good, though, because with wiggle room, empty space in there, you can easily pinch right out of the can. So Viking. Viking is actually under license and made by Samuel Gawith. It's a Samuel Gawith product. That I know for certain. I have one pretty good source that it's made by Samuel Gawith for the smoking shop, the smoker shop. I think it's one or the other. It's a British online tobacconist, and Samuel Gawith makes this for them as sort of like their in-house brand. So this product itself, as the name somewhat implies, is strong. Thus the Thor's hammer. It is a natural, I am being told. It is a mix, close 50-50, with dark-fired, ready for it, Virginia. Not dark-fired Kentucky, dark-fired Virginia, and blonde flu-cured Virginia. So it's a dark, it should be a medium brown. So I'm going to see if I can get the lid off just hand, but I have a feeling, and I have it on standby here, that I may need my tin cracker. Now these are just lift-off lids. Nah, that's not happening. So this is my, I don't know what this is originally. I don't know if it's some sort of like 1960s steak knife or something. This is what I use for pipe tobacco tins, which are basically sort of the same idea. So they're a little easier because the tins are wider and the circle of the can isn't as tight, but I could actually, you probably did not hear that, but I could actually hear the air suck in on that. So, oh, and now it comes off real easy. Wow. That is some dark stuff. That is really, really dark. I wasn't expecting that. Wow, that is some potent smelling stuff too. Good grief. It's really, really dark. I was expecting... It's really dark. I'm not going to say it's black. It's not. but I expected with the light Virginia in there for it to be a little bit of a lighter brown. It's pretty dark stuff. As you can see, there's plenty of room in the can. Feeling it, it's soft and leaves a well-formed finger imprint. Usually that's what I go by to tell if I don't want to say moisture, the humidity of the product is at the right level. If it presses in soft and when you take your finger out, the print of your finger stays completely well-formed. Doesn't start crumbling down the sides and filling up the hole that you just made with your finger. If it stays well-formed, which this is, then the humidity, the moisture level of the product is correct. Now, this is a high nicotine product, so let me make sure that I have this on the pause button because I think there may be some sneezing. The grind is... It's a fairly fine grind with a good moisture level. So it may be okay, but I'm expecting at least a hit nicotine-wise, and it won't be confused with a hit of menthol because there is no menthol in this product. It is a very dark, pungent tobacco smell. Imagine a dark-fired snuff with no salt. No salt added, no top flavoring, there's no potpourri stuff. It's just ground, dark-fired tobacco. It's something I like, but in a way that I sometimes like coffee's black, if that makes any sense to you. It's not something that I lean towards automatically, but to really mix things up, scents like this, sort of like the flavors like black coffee, it really sort of, it jump starts me, and this is sort of like that. So again, that's what it's looking like. That's actually, with the light off it, probably a better representation of what it's looking like. You can still see the perfectly formed finger plant in there. I think you'll be able to tell that. You can see the shadow playing it off it. So the moisture level's good. It's actually really good. I am a little worried about what's going to happen, though. I'm just going to take a pinch of this stuff. Now, what you do is you're going to pinch out, okay? And then under nostrils. Now, you may see me hold my one nostril because of my septum being deviated. I may hold actually over here. But basically, you pinch. Now, you're not talking like a pinch of dip, okay? You're talking like you can't see what you just pinched in between your fingers. While you have it under your nose and you're inhaling, you're exposing the product by bringing your finger across your thumb. You see what I'm doing there? All right. So basically, with a can like this, it's real. And this is why I like these cans. There's plenty of room. Like when some of the cans are completely full, especially the smaller ones, you can't pinch into it too much, like dip your fingers in, because you're displacing product and it's going out the sides. So this is good. It feels good. Now, that's a pinch, okay? I'm going to try to take my finger off that without spilling it. That's all you're doing here, all right? So let me see. Whoa. There's a significant nicotine kick with that. Wow. Okay, I'm going to hit the pause button for a second. Right, so as it turns out, Thor's hammer is like the inside of your nostrils getting hit by a hammer. I'm tearing, let me put it that way. There's a burn, but it's not a burn because I took it too far back. I feel more sneezing coming on. God damn. Always out through the mouth so you don't lose the product. The burn is akin to placing a stronger dip on the part of your gum line that you're not used to. Like if you took Kodiak Wintergreen and put it up top. That's sort of what it's like. The scent is a very rich, pungent. I hate using the word pungent for just plain tobacco, but it sort of is. It's very rich. It's a thick, rich scent smell. All right. The product, I think actually the moisture level and the grind is good enough. It's a pretty moist nasal stuff. I'm not going to say it's a rapide, but it's pretty, the moisture's good on it. If it wasn't for that burn, which I'm taking as some sort of nicotine going on, I probably would not have sneezed as much as I did. But as soon as the nicotine hit, my eyes started tearing. And right now, I still sort of feel like I could sneeze. It's a very rich, dark-fired scent flavor. That's the best I can describe it as. It's some pretty potent stuff. And I can't say that for myself personally, it's something that I would gravitate to of my own accord. Outside of review material, I don't think. It is something, though, that, like, as I said, sort of like, okay, I've been doing this stuff that I really like, and I've been doing it, but now it's sort of getting to the point where I'm so used to it, and it's so every day, I think I need, like, to hit the reset. Something like this is what I use as a reset button, all right? It corrects, the humdrum daily. And that's sort of the way it is with, like, black coffee with me. I'm not a coffee drinker. I'm not even a big fan of. I wouldn't even consider myself a big fan of coffee. And if it is a hot drink, it's usually tea, like an English breakfast or Irish breakfast. But every once in a while, and when I drink them, I like them. Like black, strong coffee. But it's a one and done, and then I'm good. This is the same type deal, only tobacco, and you're taking it up your nose. So I hope I haven't gotten anybody really confused. Like, I don't know, he was talking about coffee at some point. I don't know what that. So it's pretty comfortable in the nose after that initial stinging. And when I say stinging, I'm not talking like, oh my God, get it out type deal. It's just, it's there, and it's strong stuff. And this is. Them putting Thor's hammer is, it's a good name for it. And I also probably took more than I needed. Partly because on the initial uptake, it was pretty comfortable. It was pretty comfortable, and it was like, this is going to be a walk in the park. No, it wasn't a walk in the park, but, so this stuff, this can, you know what, I meant to check to see what it was price-wise. I got this as I get all the dry snuffs from mysmokingshop.com. I am not affiliated with them. I am not telling you to buy from them. I find them to be fair, and it is really the only option for the lot of these European dry snuffs that I review. It's basically like that. There is another store called the Snuff Store. It's Mr. Snuff under a different website. It's the same people. So, they have all this stuff under one house. A lot of other places that you buy from online, snuff-wise, basically all the companies have their own websites. And that's fine. But I'm not doing a group of reviews that are all from one company. So Mr. Snuff's where I find everything sort of under one roof. This, I want to say it was $4.10. I will probably not use all of this. Okay? But if one was going to, and you were just getting into dry snuff, this would last you quite a while. I mean, if you decided to do this stuff at night, and this was the only thing you were doing at night, this would still last you quite a while for $4.10. Less than a can of Copenhagen in most areas. So, it's not a bad deal. This stuff I'm a little bit thrown up to say whether you... I don't think this is a beginner's product. But not because it was terribly difficult to take. I think the nicotine aspect... If you took the nicotine aspect out of this product, it wouldn't be too bad to take. But with the nicotine in there, it's going to make somebody sneeze. The feel of sting burn is going to make a beginner sneeze. So I'm going to say stay away from this one for absolute beginners. But in general, for people that are familiar with snuff taking, you might want to give it a go. It definitely has a nicotine kick. Now, remember, for people new, nicotine in a dry snuff that is taken nasally, don't get panicked when it hits real hard. It's not going to get stronger. It hits hard and then recedes. So that hard hit, that's the worst it's going to get. Okay? So this has been the review of Thor's hammer from the Viking Snuff, which is made by Samuel Gawith. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy. I do hope you all are well. Do take care of yourselves, and God bless.